Welcome to Shatterproof, the Auto Glass Journey for Independence podcast. Here's a sneak peek at the next episode coming soon with guest host Glenn Fell of Wyndshyld Auto Glass, titled, "A Little Caution, Gary. Safety First, Glenn. Importance of the Auto Glass Safety Council," recorded live at the AGSC Winter Meeting in Orlando, Florida. This episode's sneak peek is sponsored by Texas Glass and Tools. They offer a wide range of carefully curated automotive glass tools, such as the Pro Set, WRD Orange Bat, launch recalibration tools, and more. Visit www.texasglasstools.com to place your order or call 830-388-3994. This sneak peek is also sponsored by Kaizen Glass Solutions, who provide training and certification programs that span automotive glass repair and replacement, ADAS recalibration, sales, and more. For more information and a class schedule, visit www.kaizenglasssolutions.com or call 512-843-1416. And finally, the sneak peek is also sponsored by the Independent Glass Association industry partner, eDirect Glass, the makers of Glass Part Match, which is free to the North American automotive glass industry, providing part matching by VIN or license plate, aftermarket pricing, labor, supplier information, and more. For your free Glass Part Match account, visit www.iga.org/GPM. Now, let's get on with the sneak preview.
And it's a decision-making process to look at this, considering all the factors you just gave, and some factors you can't see.
Right.
And, so that's why something like the Auto Glass Safety Council is important.
Oh, 100%.
Because not only do you get to have your voice in a committee, but there's a lot of other people that are bringing that think tank to the group. And we're not bringing standards to the forefront to shove anything down anybody's throat. We're saying, look,
They're all voluntary standards.
Safety, and I think the conclusion is we want shops to get 100% behind it.
Right.
But at the same time, even if these shops would say, you know what, God, I like where this is going, because that repair opportunity just became a replacement. In most cases, replacement, you're making more money. And guess what you get to do now? You get to recalibrate. Bad for the consumer because maybe they didn't want to go through this, but at the same time, then they're going to fight with, if you can't repair it, I'm going to take it down the road.
Right. My view and my take and my philosophy is the standards have been created not by me. Obviously I've some committees, so there's influence, but they've been assembled and authored by some of the best minds in the industry. And people that, but I might butt heads with on things, but I respect the hell out of their knowledge.
Absolutely.
I feel they might be running an agenda, but that's beside the point. But overall, I respect the hell out of their knowledge and their contributions to the industry.
Yeah, and let's also just be clear too. These standards don't come from one person.
No.
It takes a village.
Months, if not years, for these standards to come out.
And there's votes every time, every step of the way. We went on a paragraph today and had 2 votes on one sentence, I think it was. One word. The word could.
Is it should or could or would?
Or may, or was it strike at all? And and that's important in the structure of things, that we're really looking out for the shop. And I know, I forgot his name, Joe. Joe was like, if you do this, I'm dead meat. So there's shop representation here. So these people that are out there, detractors of the Auto Glass Safety Council, their fear is that something's going to be taken away from them. And that's the furthest from the truth, because you've got somebody like me fighting for the independence, but also at the same time, look, we've got to have structure. And show consumers. And
understand, these committees are made up of manufacturers, associations like yourself, shop owners like me, technicians, like people who work for a glass company and do the work. It's made up of chemical manufacturers. It's made up of attorneys. It's made up of consultants. It's made up of the tool manufacturers, supply manufacturers, consumable manufacturers.
And we bring in experts, and we share our agenda with them, and they give us what their feedback in future looks like.
It's made up, and that's not just the AGSC standard. Trainers is the other one that I was thinking of. People who train people on how to do the work are on these committees, and then distributors are on these committees too. So it's made up of pretty much, from an industry-wide standpoint. There's people on there from the smallest independents, one-man shops, up to very large companies owned by a publicly traded holdings company. Of course, there's one company that's not represented because they choose not to. But I'm not going down that path.
But they still send somebody who weighs in, and I believe over the years, and I'll say this, it's Safelite, and when Glenn Moses retired from Safelite, but as far back as I can remember, Glenn was a very valuable member to have on the standards committee, because he truly was bringing the perspective of the glass industry. No matter who you are in this, we're in the glass industry. So Safelite could be the 800-pound grill. I know Glass America's here. There's a lot of
Caliber.
I mean, there's a lot of big shops that are here, and they're not here with their own agenda, because you can't flex your agenda here. There's too many voices in the room that shoot it down, or we go, that's a great idea we didn't think of.
Yeah.
And it all comes, granted, we're volunteers. We volunteer in these committees to show up. You're on your own company's dime. I'm on the dime of the Independent Glass Association. But we're here because we have a voice, and we want to say, hey, look, if you're thinking about participate in the community, you could always drop in as a guest, sit in the back of the room, and actually see what goes on, and then volunteer.
And of course, when I sit in meetings like this, I'm not always the most quiet individual. I'm not trying to. I'm not stirring up controversy, but I'm just trying to.
No, you're invoking thought.
100%. I'm presenting scenarios. I'm saying in this case, or I'm sharing my own experience, and here's what we do.